everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radiant Central, and I'm your host, Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make a homemade fresh almond milk. Easy, 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 and way better than the store-bought stuff. And it takes literally 5 minutes to put it together. So I know a lot of people drink almond milk and they use it as a substitute for milk. So a lot of times they'll use it in their tea or in their coffee, or they'll drink it straight, or they'll put it in their cereal, or they'll even cook with it. And a lot of people buy it in the carton where it's pre-made, and it's quite popular these days. And I'd say it's a way better alternative to soy milk. I'd rather someone be drinking almond milk over soy milk any day, which is good. And I know that a lot of people with dairy allergies prefer to have almond milk, so that's good. But the store-bought stuff, it's not so great. I mean, it's not fresh, and there are preservatives and stuff added into it, and it's way better to make it at home and make it fresh. So here's the recipe. Easy, enjoy. You'd need is 1 cup of almonds, and you'd place the almonds in the bowl, and I would say about 2 cups of water, and you'd pour the water in. You're gonna just leave the almonds in the water overnight, and you don't need to put a lid or cover it or refrigerate it. Just leave it out on kitchen counter overnight for 12 hours to 24 hours. So what you're going to need is 1 cup of almonds, and they should just be raw, plain almonds, non-salted, non-roasted, just plain almonds. You will need 3 cups of drinking water, and if you want to sweeten the almond milk, some people like to, some people don't. If you do want to sweeten it, you can use 2 or 3 dates, or you can use a tablespoon of honey, or a tablespoon of maple syrup, or coconut palm sugar. It's up to you, or nothing at all. Equipment-wise, you will need a blender. You don't need a super powerful blender, just a basic kitchen blender is fine. And you will need some sort of strainer. You can use either a fine mesh strainer, like a metal fine mesh strainer like this, or you can use a nut milk bag, which I prefer to use, which is made out of nylon, and it's very, very fine, and it's great to use to make nut milk. And you can also use cheesecloth. What I suggest with the cheesecloth is to use it with the strainer, and to line the strainer with the cheesecloth, and to do maybe a few layers of the cheesecloth, because it's not necessarily the best or the easiest to use for straining, but it can work if that's what you've got. You will also need a jar to store the almond milk in. Now we're going to put the ingredients through the blender. So first we'll start with the almonds. These have been soaked and strained. The dates, which the pits have been taken out. And finally the water. So now I'm going to show you how to strain the nut milk. So you would need a bowl, plus you would need either a nut milk bag, such as this, or the fine mesh strainer. I'm going to show you with the nut milk bag. You would put it inside of a bowl, and you would take the almond milk and pour it into the nut milk bag. Just like this, and we'll strain maybe half at a time. Just like that. Very simple, very, very easy. I'll also show you the actual almond meal. This is what's inside of the nut milk bag after you strained out all the liquid. And this can actually be used. You can use this in cookies or baked goods. If it doesn't have a sweetener in it, you can use it in crackers, or even in veggie burgers, or whatever you'd like. Plus, you can actually make one more batch of almond milk with it. I would suggest using a little bit less water, maybe only 2 cups of water with the second batch, just because the first batch gets most of the oils and the milk out of the almonds, but you can still run it through the blender with a little bit less water and still get another batch of almond milk. So do try that out. And the almond flour, almond meal, whatever you want to call this, it can pretty much be stored in the fridge, I would say, for maybe about another 3 days, or else you can also store it in the freezer for a good 2 to 3 months. And here's our lovely almond milk, and it can be stored in the fridge for 3 days. It can also be stored in the freezer for 2 to 3 months, and you can always freeze half the amount and keep the other half in the fridge. And one thing I suggest for people that like to drink coffee or tea and they like to actually put some almond milk in there, I would suggest to freeze it in an ice cube tray so that you just take out a small amount out of the freezer for your tea or coffee, and therefore you always have a fresh, nice almond milk for your beverage. All right, so let's try out the almond milk. It looks like milk, doesn't it? Super yummy, and I would say the consistency of it is it's kind of the equivalent to 2% milk. So if you were looking to make something that's thicker and creamier, like a table cream, then I suggest just reducing the water a little bit in the almond milk recipe, and it'll make it thicker and creamier. Less water used, the creamier it is. For the full recipe, go to my website, go to today's blog post at radiantcentral.com/blog, and you'll find the full recipe all written out with the measurements and the ingredients, everything. Plus, also, I just want to mention too that with the almond milk, it is fabulous to use it in smoothies. I really like to put it in smoothies. And I've also put together a recipe on making a chia seed pudding with the almond milk. So in the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to make the chia seed pudding using this recipe for the almond milk, and it is super delicious, nutritious, and something different too. So stay tuned for the next video coming up with that. And I'd also like to just end by mentioning that the next 7-day raw food challenge, we do a 7-day raw food challenge here at radiantcentral.com every month for 1 week, and I host it. I offer support and put together a whole program full of recipes, a menu planner, shopping list, and daily videos that walk you through a raw food diet for a week pretty much. And it's a great cleanse. I highly suggest it, especially now that it's summertime and there's plenty of fruits and vegetables out there and the weather's good. It's a good time to do a cleanse. So, and you get to eat as well. You're eating raw foods, you're eating fresh, wonderful, wholesome foods for an entire week. So if you're interested and you want more information or you want to sign up, just go to my website at radiantcentral.com and click on products, and you'll see a 7-day raw food challenge. All right, so have a fabulous weekend, you guys, and I will see you again soon. Bye.